with the Seahawks and Giants at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. 66 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 9 miles per hour. Let's go over to the line history here. And we have the the Niners opening up at -10. And that's where they are right now. But they were -7.5. There was a huge move, a huge bet on the Seahawks. They moved to 7.5. That lasted for 1 minute till it moved to 8. And it was at 8 at Pinnacle for a little over 2 hours. And now it's back at 10. This total opened up at 42 -106 to the over. There's been a 2-cent move to the over. But what a fascinating move that happened earlier today. Let's take a look at the cash. 6,292 tickets in. You have 29% of the tickets, 36% of cash on the Niners, 60% of tickets, 61% of cash on the under. Seattle on short rest after that impressive 17-16 home victory over the Broncos on Monday night. Sure, they had a lot of things. They were very fortunate on a lot of situations, but Geno Smith, 17 of 18 for 164 yards in the first half, 23 of 28 for 195 yards, 2 touchdowns in the game. Colby Parkinson, 2 catches for 43 yards. Disley caught 3 passes for 43 yards. DK Metcalf, 7 for 36. Rashard Penny, 12 carries for 60 yards. The defense looked strong. The pass rush kept Wilson uncomfortable. 2 sacks, 8 quarterback hits. Now, look, Denver ran 8 plays inside the Seattle 12 in the third quarter and came away with 0 points. 2 fumbles. 3 more plays inside the Seattle 10 midway through the fourth and get a field goal. So obviously, and Jamal Adams, gone, serious injury to his left quad tendon. 49ers started the Trey Lance era with a very disappointing 19-10 loss in Chicago. They lost despite holding the Bears to 204 yards. We cashed the under. It was just a gift.
Yeah.
The conditions didn't help, but Lance was 13 of 28 for 164 yards in the pick, ran 13 times for 54 yards. Jawan Jennings led receivers with 4 catches for 62 yards. Ayuk was next. Deebo Samuel ran 8 times for 52, caught 2 passes for 14 yards. The issue here is Elijah Mitchell left the game in the first half with a knee injury. It's an MCL sprain. It's worse than they thought, not better. He's going to be out for 2 months, and that's going to require Deebo Samuel to run the ball a lot more. They were just 1 for 3 in the red zone. Don't forget, Mitchell set the franchise record with 963 yards last year. It's a big loss. George Kittle missed the game. That was clear that he wasn't there, and they're looking to go to avoid 0-2 start. It would be their first 0-2 start since 2017. Take it away for us here, Andy. Seahawks, Niners.
Yeah, Seahawks probably didn't deserve that win. You get a couple, and I mean, kudos to that defense for making it happen, but getting 2 goal line fumbles and recovering them both, that's just it's not going to happen every week. Playing a short game, Geno feels like the Mike White, where it's like, remember how good Mike White was, and then people are like, what was it the next week? It's like, oh, this is what he's doing. We're going to stop that now. So I don't think you see Geno playing that well. Even in the second half, he wasn't as good. It was a nice performance. He took what they gave him. He was throwing the ball well, but this is a whole different kind of game. And it's really hard to grade what the Niners did. That weather really skewed everything about that game. I have no idea. I really, really was excited to watch Trey Lance this year, and then we have a game that I almost have to just throw out. It's like a round of golf where the winds are 40 miles an hour. Like, you going to use any of those stats to make any decisions? It's impossible to look at that game and glean much from it outside of how the defense is played. Maybe I saw a horse racing joke already. They are not mutters. Their mutter wasn't a mutter. And it was an ugly game, an ugly loss. They're up 10-0 at one point. That makes me nervous. And yes, I'm not, and this is the perfect Sky Dragon. I can't lay 10 with Trey Lance. That's where it's at. So yeah. I don't know what we have in him yet. I think the Niners have a chance to really put a hurting on him, but I'm uncertain on Kittle. I don't know what we have in Lance. We're missing a running back now. The only positive there is obviously Seattle is off a short week. That helps a lot, and Jamal Adams being done for the year helps the Niners. Again, it's a weird game that I'm staying away from. It's a bad week, I think, for just betting in general for me. There's a bunch of games I don't love. It's asking me to lay 10 points with a quarterback with a bad elbow and a quarterback I've barely seen play. It's really tough for me to lay double digits. I gotta like a lot of things.
I think this is
and Seattle could just be putrid. I mean, they could just come out and it could be one of those where, like, God, I think Jacksonville did this where they come out, win the first game, and then go 1-16 or 1-15. Seattle legitimately could be a very bad team, and that was just a nice emotional win over Russ. But yeah, laying 10 with a quarterback with no experience isn't a recipe for success, I don't think.
But how could you bet Seattle? I agree.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
I was just washing my hands of this one.
Yeah, and this team total right now at Pinnacle, first half team total for the Seahawks at 7.5, minus 153 to the under. I could see Seattle really struggling to score, and San Francisco not being able to put up a ton of points. Why wouldn't the under, be in play here? 60% of tickets, 61% of the cash. Let's go back to that line history on this total, not moving off of 42. Is it the fear that Seattle could possibly run up the score? Is that it?
No, I mean, it's a pretty good defense at times too, and we just that thing is so hard to evaluate a team playing in a game like that. An absolute monsoon at times, wet field, outdoors like that, and getting back to the Bay, I think the offense gets right, but again, with Kittle missing, and even if he's back banged up, starting a new running back, which I guess is old hat for them. They did that a lot last year, maybe the year before. Yeah, I'm guessing this ends up Niners win, but the cover is in doubt for a good chunk of the game. One of those where it never feels like the Niners are going to lose the game, but the cover certainly is in doubt. So not excited about this one at all. It's a theme this week.
I like this under.
Yeah,
I like this under. I'm comfortable backing it. I'm going to add the under to my card. I think it correlates enough here with what I want to do. And I do not see the Seahawks scoring. But I also, that team total at 15.5, I mean, my biggest concern would be just garbage time. Maybe Geno gets completely shut down. They bring in Drew Lock against, backups with a big lead. I think the under is in play. I wonder if it's better to focus on the second half under, but after watching the Seahawks the first half under, but after watching the Seahawks in the second half last week, or just yesterday, I don't know how you could trust them putting up points late unless they did the quarterback switch. The under is going to be on my card, and I think I'm just going to stick with the full game under